Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the program. It's 9:31 right now. Lou and Jackie here, being joined in the studio by someone that people could not wait for her to get here, Jackie, especially with the recent talks we've been having about what has happened with Facebook.
Well, I think people just want to make sense of it. You hear a headline, you kind of get scared by what's being said in the headlines, but we don't know exactly what's going on. So hopefully you can break it down for us this morning.
Yeah, privacy professor Rebecca Herold joining us in studio right now. And Facebook.
Yes.
Hacked.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, Facebook technically was not hacked from the data scientist point of view, because the way they had it set up, they were sharing this data freely. And actually, the data they got, the people had already given permission to give that data, but guess what? They probably didn't realize that they had given
those people
permission.
that are saying what we just mentioned, they are incorrect.
Well, some people call it a breach because it's a breach of trust with Facebook. They're using data in ways that they said they would not allow it to be used. Plus, now here's the thing. You know those quizzes that you take online on Facebook? I mean, I do them because I like to analyze them. They're all a little bit different. Well, back around 2014, this company, Cambridge Analytica, and it wasn't really called that back then. That was actually a name that was suggested by Steve Bannon, believe it or not, back then. But anyway, that's a whole other story. But anyway, what they were doing is they had clients such as him, such as in Russia and others. They wanted to figure out what people's concerns were, find out more about what would move people and what would actually help sway their opinions about different things. So this Cambridge Analytica, which it was ultimately called, they thought, well, how does Facebook work? Well, on Facebook, if you don't have your settings tightened down, and if you don't allow people to not see all of your other friends' information, and most people allow their other friends to be seen, right? Then basically that's open to the public. And when that's open to the public, this Cambridge Analytica knew this, so they thought, let's take our quizzes that we put out there, and we can not only have the Facebook users answer the quizzes and we can find out about them, but we will also then, through this app, through the online quiz, it wasn't always an app, sometimes it was just an online site, we could also, because of the way the system is configured, Facebook, we can also then get to all of their friends. That's where the term breach comes in, because if your friend took a quiz and they allowed your information and all their other friends' information to be seen, when they took that quiz, those quizzes actually went out and captured your data, your profile information as well. So that's why we're having like 150 million or more people's data being collected, and the breach is the fact that you didn't give them permission to get into your data, but as a result of the way your friends did not have their accounts secured, they were able to take that data.
Now, you keep saying quizzes. Are these like fun quizzes or?
You know, they're called quizzes. It was usually like, what color would you be, or what kind of of dog would you be?
Okay, those are the ones we're talking about.
Type,
okay, got it. Okay.
But you know, it was very interesting because the people who created those quizzes created them worded in such a way that they could also interject some questions where they could find out about concerns that people had, you know, about different things going on right now.
Wow.
In politics, in the economy, in other types of areas. So by using that data, the data scientists were able to use big data analytics and artificial intelligence to say, oh, well, here's a demographic area in this part of the region, and they have concerns about jobs, or they have concerns about health care. So then they would manufacture stories that they would target to those people whose profiles that they had collected, and so those people would see a lot of stories. Oftentimes they weren't real. Like, there were such ridiculous stories, you know, over the past few years, and there still are, about things that don't even exist. So they use that to basically put all this information online and make it seem like real news, but it was coming from such places as InfoWars and Breitbart, who are kind of notorious for propaganda.
Right.
And people would share them with each other, and that added legitimacy to those propaganda or fake stories.
Wow.
What's interesting is not only did this impact here in the U.S., but they think that it also impacted, they did the same thing over in Europe, you know, around when Brexit was out. They did it back then too, so they think it might have influenced that. So
now, what do we need to do to tighten down our Facebook?
As I say, Facebook claims it's becoming more
secure.
Well, not necessarily secure, but they're becoming more adamant about what is being able to be posted. That's what they claim.
Yeah.
If we need if we need to take control of our own sources, what do we have to do?
Number one, if you're going to take a quiz, first read about that quiz. Typically, a legitimate, if you could call it that, quiz is going to ask if they can get access to your friends' information too. Most people just okay it and go on. Do not let them get to all of your other
Because if you deny it, you're still probably going to be able to take the quiz.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Now they'll tell you, oh, your results might be a little bit different. Oh well, you know, it's not a job. You're not doing this for for money. So do that, and then also do not allow the general public to see your list of all other friends. So those are two things. Also, watch out for catfishing. Catfishing is when somebody is trying to make contact with you, and this is an example of some of mine. In the last 2 weeks, I've gotten over a dozen, I think actually 24 catfishing attempts. Catfishing is when you get these invitations to be a friend, but it's not who they say they are.
Right.
This is one that I got. So when I got it at the end of March, I saved the photo of the gentleman it shows there, and I put that in images.google, and I did a search. Well, this is actually a lieutenant general who's got a completely different name, and I also looked to see who their other friends were. They had no other friends. I also scrolled down their timeline. It was a brand new account. Those are all red flags. If they don't have any other friends, if it's a brand new account.
Or few friends.
Or few friends. And then they had some kind of not appropriate types of messages on that little girl, that image they used for her. I saw some people from Africa and from Russia made some inappropriate comments on there. And, you know, if somebody was a grandfather or something to a little girl, they wouldn't allow inappropriate comments out there. So this is really increasing a lot. Now, why did I get so many catfishing attempts? Well, I wanted to see how people would use my information if I joined a group. So, you know, I like The Good Doctor on your sister station. That's the one show I watch each week. So I thought, I'll join some Good Doctor discussion groups. And they have tens of thousands of people. Immediately after I joined those, that's when I started getting the catfishing. I think also the fact that I do not keep my actual location on Facebook. I don't keep birth date. I don't keep anything about me on there. If they see somebody has a profile that's kind of empty, they'll throw it out there too. So watch out for these, because what they'll do is they'll start communicating with real people, and then they'll get them, after they gain their trust over a period of weeks and months, they'll get them to send them money, or they'll get them to give them other types of things, and it can really lead to a lot of basically fraud. People have lost tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars through catfishing.
Yeah, there's a reason MTV has a very popular show called that, because it happens way too often. All right, if people want more information, maybe they don't understand how to make themselves more protected on social media or their devices, you're always willing to help out with that.
Definitely, definitely. You can reach me at, this is one of my businesses, Simbas360.com, and there's a question mark there. Also, I just published my April Privacy Professor tips, and I wrote a lot about the Cambridge Analytica and also catfishing in it. So if anybody wants to get that, you know, my tips and sign up for them, please just send me an email, RebeccaHerold@RebeccaHerold.com,
Okay.
or let me know on Twitter, which is PrivacyProf, and I'll answer you there.
Wonderful. And you can always reach out to us here at the station. We'd be glad to point you in the right direction as well. And you can watch this again at weareiowa.com. Just click on the CW Iowa Live tab. Rebecca, always great information.
Great
Thank
job
you
as
so much
always.
for
Thank
joining
you.
us.